2025, and there's a massive opportunity to gain incredible leverage like never before when it comes to email marketing, when it comes to writing copy, and when it comes to leveraging AI both in design and in your copywriting. There are a lot of purists out there, and myself being one of them, who always worried about, is this going to replace copywriting? I was a fan. I studied the classics. I read Ogilvy. I learned traditional copywriting. This is something within my DNA and something that I've trained my team on for years and years and years. Consumer psychology, pains, benefits, tension release. You know, understanding good storytelling as a fundamental skill is something I don't think is going anywhere. But what I do think is incredibly powerful is to be able to leverage AI so we actually have more time and more energy for creative breakthroughs, to understand and ideate content angles without getting tied up in the monotony of the grunt work and getting pen to paper and organizing ideas and loads of great content ideas. So as an ideation tool, it's there's an opportunity like never before. So I want to share with you how to go about using AI the right way when it comes to email marketing copy. And I'm talking specifically for e-commerce brands. It's very, very different for info products or writing for coaches and more long form content. There's a certain approach when it comes to e-commerce brands which is working at the moment, and you need to use AI in a sophisticated way to be able to win and not only create great results, great content and great leverage, but also to build your brand in the long run and not seem like a brand that is just putting out tacky, instantly recognizably AI content. So I'm going to share with you exactly how to do it and how I train my team and even my clients on how to do it. So before you go anywhere, before you even start diving into using AI, you really need to do a task before this. You really need to understand your brand, your customer, competitors, and gather all the inspiration together in one single source of truth. I'll give an example of how we do this for our clients. It's not flashy, but it works. We've tried to be flashy. This is the most effective way that we found to do. So first things first, you've got to start having a place where you compile some key details when it comes to your brand. You want to understand how to position your brand, how to speak to the customer audience, what your brand tone of voice is, and really get clear on all of these fundamentals first. Otherwise, you're going to be fighting upstream when it comes to iterations with ChatGPT or any AI tool for that matter. And by the way, we were big ChatGPT fans and we became Claude fans. And now I actually believe that the recent updates to ChatGPT has smashed Claude out the water again. So I'd go back to ChatGPT. I've taken out the client's name here for the sake of anonymity. So these have come up some of the key ideas. So of course, we ask what ecom platforms they're using. The first one I think is really important when it comes to prompts is sort of closest competitors, inspiration to spy on. So we're thinking, what kind of brands do we want to take inspiration from? For example, if you can feed into AI that we want to sort of write in more of a luxury tone, akin to Cartier, take inspiration from Cartier, or take inspiration from Gymshark and Lululemon. We want to have this kind of sort of like approach to our content style. This is something that you want to start getting information from. Understand, if you're the brand owner or you're working with the brand owner, exactly what kind of brands inspire you, and the more the better. I would aim for about 3 or 4. You want to understand sort of like core features. What makes your brand stand out? What is unique to your brand and distinct to your brand? So we can always start to anchor back to those, and also design content pillars around those as well, and really just allow ourselves to really imbibe that with our personality. Some other ones I think are going to be key are product information or collection info that we need to be aware of. You know, so we're talking about jewelry here. Our jewelry works hard. Charms can be worn on an earring, on a bracelet, on a necklace, or can be built into lots of different looks with just a few pieces, especially when it comes to content ideation and writing campaigns and understanding various different angles to lean into. We want to understand, like, what are the key things about our product? What are the benefits? What are the differentiators? Why do people buy? What are the key angles? This is where we want to start to collect that information, and it's going to be massively helpful when it comes to writing campaign ideas. Obviously, this is a big one. Can you please explain the brand's desired tone of voice? So a lot of brands, for example, do not understand the tone of voice or what their tone of voice is or what they're going for, or they might just say happy, funny, or cheeky, which is just not great. You want to go into a lot of detail here. You really want to, the more detail, the better. You want to invent a persona, and you want to start creating that person. Who is she? What does she do? Where does she go? What kind of TV shows does she watch? What kind of slang does she use? What part of the world does she live in? And what kind of vernacular does she have? You know, she's got heart, but she bites. She'll hype you up or call you out. She'll help find the charm that matches your chaos. It's playful, soulful, a bit witchy, and a whole lot of spicy. Like your favorite friend who tells you the truth, swears a bit, but always looks hot doing it. She's a woo-woo with a wink, deep but never dull, and allergic to being boring, right? That's way better than just saying, can we have a, our tone of voice is like a best friend or cheeky, for example. These are the kind of like, this is, you want to do the front work and go into this kind of detail, and it's going to go a long, long way. And I'm going to show you how to organize everything into some incredible formulas a little bit later. Ultimate target audience and customer profile. Again, you want to go into detail. If you can have one or two customer personas, Tash, 32, lives here, job creator, strategist, spends on fewer but better things, loves brands like Glossier, Ganni, House of Sunny, or Merigi, scrolls on TikTok, Pinterest for style inspo, but creates her own things, mixes vintage with designer, sentimental with statement. These are the kind of prompts that you want to feed in to your channel. This is really what you want to be doing. So you want to start to understand your ideal customer profile, write it out, write out one or two actual personas or individuals, and you're going to go and what she wants from the brand. These are big ones as well. You want to sort of tell AI what your vision for the brand is. This is a big one as well. So you want to start to collect this, and what do you want to avoid in your content marketing? This is a big one. And what is your company goal, missions, main priorities? You want to feed all of this in so it can really start to become your master copywriter for your brand. Then you want to move on to the next part. The next part of things is you want to start organizing it into a master meta ChatGPT brief. So, firstly, on the left hand side, and this is something I recorded for my team, you want to have channel, and you want to have that channel just for your brand, right? You want to say your brand, and it needs to be a fresh chat. And on the fresh chat, you want to tell it you're a world-class D2C email marketing copywriter or attention marketer, trained to write high-performing, emotionally driven emails that match the tone, mission, and psychology of the brand that you're supporting. So obviously you could put your brand here. You understand the difference between flows and campaigns. You know when to be concise and when to build story, and how to use emotional triggers to build loyalty, drive revenue, and deliver real brand value. You write like an in-house expert, not a generic agency voice. You build relationships, not just click-throughs. Every line serves the brand's mission and the customer journey. You follow the structure below and use the brand inputs to provide guidance, tone, personality, and positioning. So then you want to start talking about all of these things and use that initial form to start populating all of these different areas as well with as much detail as possible. I've then gone ahead and broken down some key principles we've seen from observing hundreds of seven-figure brands and what works well as a theme, and breaking down just and observing the funnels of so many different top D2C brands. Subject line, 6 to 9 words, emotionally led. I think you could even do 4 to 9 words here, but I think 6 to 9 is good for now. Emotionally led, curiosity, or benefit based. So you've got variations in how you want to approach the hook. Emotional, curiosity, or benefit. You could even have relevancy here if you have an offer, for example. Avoid spammy or generic phrasing, be creative, hooky, and on brand. Complements or contrast, preview text, complements or contrast the subject lines, add tension or clarity, 40 to 90 characters. Header, punchy, bold, or branded, a single strong thought or hook, add context or connects to the CTA, can introduce story, offer, or reason to care. If we have an offer, always keep this in this section. So offer's always above the fold. So we've trained that rule. Then body copy, short paragraphs or bullet points. And if, for example, I broke down the email marketing strategy on my Instagram the other day of a high quality colostrum brand in America called Umra. Now, those guys are an authority when it comes to the science, and oftentimes they break the rules. They will have longer form copy, but even still, the way they break up that copy is still breaking, it breaks rhythm, voice, instead of having just a wall of text, breaks rhythm and voice instead of having a wall of text. That's still the case. So if you need to program this for the subtleties and nuances of your brand, you need to do that. If you're just going to use this and not put any thought into it, you're probably not in a position where you're going to scale a successful brand or build a really high quality email marketing agency where you deliver world-class services. You need to add your own flair here. I've done a lot of the work for you. CTAs, 2 to 4 words, ownable, avoid generic use, branded tone, sometimes simple as best. There's so much more here. Now, there are many different tasks that you could have when you're running email marketing for your brand. It could be writing welcome flows. It could be post-purchase. It could be any of these things. It could be ideating, a 30 or 60-day campaign plan. I've got various different prompts for each of these different flows, which give structure. For example, if it's a welcome flow, like I want to write 7 to 8 emails in a welcome flow. Email 1 follows this particular formula. I'd like to have header, subheader, CTA with offers above the fold and a really unique and interesting intro to the brand. I want to have a bridge section where I touch on a little bit more about who we are, makes us different, and I want to use iconography and GIFs. So give me product annotations and ideas for GIFs here. I also then want to help people with their shopping experience. So have like a getting started section, and then share maybe our newest arrivals, and then maybe how to shop by category as well. And that's a really good email 1. And if you give that structure, You could do that for every email within a welcome series. And here's the thing, when you do this, you're just going to create what would have taken you 7 hours can take one. And then for those extra, all of the time that you've saved, you can use sprinkling your magic on, ideating things, looking at your brand, and maybe analyzing competitors and go, no, I want to work with that as well. I want to try that. I want to weave this in there. But you're not getting bogged down by all of the heavy lifting. So you've got all of the spare time and energy now to just think creatively and not be bogged down. So this is how you really want to go about doing things. And the result of things is really, really powerful. You're going to save a hell of a lot of time. You're going to be able to get yourself ahead with content, test things quicker, and make a hell of a lot more money. So if you want me to send this over, I'm going to leave the link in the bio. Give me a link, give me a comment if you do download it. That'd be great, so I can continue to make more content like this. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you on the next one.